to Councillor Charles Rooney, who, as I say, is the man in charge of Regeneration for Middlesbrough. Hi, Charles.
Hello there.
Yeah, how can you explain the situation that Mark finds himself in?
Well, it's unfortunate that when we look at regeneration, it started off with housing market failure, and that's not to say that every house in an area was unfit to live in, and indeed it gets emotive when people start talking about the homes, but a lot of houses in that area weren't of a standard we like people that live in today, and the surveys they did at the time said that nearly 90% of people didn't want to live in that style of house, so we have to move forward. If we carry on the way we are in this country, the average age of houses will be something like 750 years old. I got some info off a person recently. Now, that might be fine if you've got a motor.
Sorry, Charles. The average house in Britain would be 750 years old?
Yeah.
Who's come up with that statistic?
Just one of our political researchers come up with that statistic. I'm just saying that there's
it doesn't make sense, does it? It's gobbledygook, it's gibberish, isn't it?
Slightly biased language, if you don't.
No, well, I'm not. Anybody listening to this will hear your assertion that the average home in Britain, if we don't do anything different, would be 750 years old. It is, if I may say so, Councillor, nonsense.
Well, I don't think it's nonsense, but you're concentrating on one small part of what I said. What I'm trying to do is emphasise that we need regeneration in our cities. Houses do have a finite lifetime. There are some good stories coming out of Gresham. There are people that were in damp, cold, expensive to heat houses and are now in warm, modern accommodation. Nobody seems to be looking for the good stories here. I personally know people who knew my father. I was brought up in Gresham, have moved out to houses with gardens. They didn't have gardens in Gresham. They're very happy with the move. I do appreciate, and I can't stress this too much, that people do get emotive, and it is sad when homes are threatened in cases like this.
But in Mark's case, Councillor, we're talking about houses that have been blighted for many years, which in 3 years' time will be demolished and then be replaced by tarmac for a temporary car park until such time as the housing market picks up. Is that a valid justification for turning somebody out of their home?
Look, there are no plans for a temporary car park. The areas are grassed over. I think something like 80% of people in the area quite like the idea. Once places are demolished, they're seeded and grassed over.
But Councillor Rooney, grassing over an area which had perfectly habitable houses, where's the sense in that?
Yeah. Well, not all of them were perfectly habitable, and I think it's wrong to keep repeating that because it isn't true.
OK, Councillor Rooney, thank you very much indeed.